What's good? It's Rocky Fresh, and you are now listening to the College Blueprint.
College Blueprint.
College Blueprint.
This is the best blueprint.
Alex, thanks for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, man. First thing I want to ask you, I want to just talk about that transition. You used to write, obviously, for Ruby Hornet, and then you went to Closed Sessions. Why did you decide to make a label, and how's it going so far?
I think at the heart of it, the main reason why I decided to stop writing full-time and pursue a label is just that's what I found myself enjoying more. I thought it was more exciting. I've been a writer even before Ruby Hornet. I was writing for this site called SoundSlam since I was in college, and I kind of felt I got to a point where how much more could I do kind of just blogging, and the Closed Sessions had always been a piece of what I did, and I was a DJ, so kind of the creation of the music was always something that was exciting, and I felt that Closed Sessions was kind of the natural just evolution of what I wanted to do, and it was also something that the artists that we were working with was kind of what the missing piece, I feel, was, and what was kind of needed for Chicago hip-hop and everything that was going on. I teach this class called AMP Hip Hop.
Yes.
And AMP is a record label at Columbia. It's a fully student-run label. Each school year, fall and spring semester, they have to put out a new project from front to back, and that's from recruiting the artist to take part, helping it be recorded, make the project, to marketing it. They also have to put on a showcase for the label at South by Southwest, and also continue to grow this AMP Records to be seen as a resource for the college. And I went to IU, and our basketball team was huge. Columbia doesn't have any sports. They're an art school. Their record label should be seen as IU's basketball team or BU's hockey team, like the thing on campus. So that's kind of the whole gist of that. A lot of the kids that then go on to work in the scene creatively come from the school. So I get to be in front of that audience, and I pull just as much inspiration from them. So it's great to have where they run their ideas by me, and I get to run my ideas or play them. I play my class hears all the new Alex Wadley music before anyone.
Wow, very lucky. Very fortunate.
I take all the records, and when we're done, I'll get the rough mix, and while they're doing they work in teams and departments like the marketing department or products or content. They all have a part of class where I'm not. I'm just in the background, and they're meeting, and I just take that time to pop on a new show you suck that no one knows I'm playing it, and just see their natural reaction. So yeah, they hear all the music first.
I guess now going into Closed Sessions, what were the early days in terms of planning and creating Closed Sessions, and then how has it changed since then?
Yeah, I guess the earliest days was when I was at Ruby Hornet and DJing, and we would do this party. At the time, it was called Dimes and Dozens, and we did it with Dub Frequency, and it would take place at this really small bar. About 120 people fit in there comfortably, and it would get to be 150 to 200. You couldn't move, and I would DJ and play music from the site. So everything that was popular on Ruby Hornet, that's the music you were going to hear in the bar that night. And then also there were all these artists that their music was popular online, but they'd never been to Chicago, and no one had seen them in real life. So the premise was kind of, you're popping online, come to Chicago and prove it, and do this show in front of this really small audience. There wasn't a stage or anything. They just would perform next to me in the DJ booth. And we were getting a lot of great young artists, and I had also met at a show at Rock the Bells. I'd met Michael Kolar, who owned a recording studio, Soundscape, and I was doing mixtapes, and I would call him and say, hey, can you help me master my mixtapes, just make sure it all sounds really good. We know producers, and they give me beats, and then I would just get artists, and I loved being at the studio and working on music. So we started adding to the show. We'd bring an artist in, and they'd come to the party and perform, and then I'd take them to Soundscape, and we just wanted to see what happened. And the first time we did that was with Currency. He made the song Rapper Weed, which was produced by Tony Baines, who had given us a bunch of beats. And from there, it was just a content thing. Every artist, once someone saw the Currency thing, I think it was Tanya Morgan, and they called and said, hey, we have a show in Chicago. We want to go to the studio and just you document and all that. And then Sky Zoo, I remember interviewing Sky Zoo, and he had seen something and came, and it just built And we knew early on that we had something, and we wanted to keep showcasing the story of making music. And it kind of just organically came into a real label. And I guess what you mean from the jump, it was like closed sessions on a piece of graphic art or our logo on something, or just like the artist giving a drop at the beginning of a song. We want to be a label in the real sense of the word, making, selling, distributing music, helping artists make money from their art. So we now have like real structure, real company setup. We have a distribution deal. We get placements on iTunes and Spotify and figure out what licensing agreements look like. Like that's kind of the difference from 3 years ago when it was like our favorite rappers, like we could hit up Action Bronson and say, come play our party, make a song with us, we're documented, and put it out online. And it was great, and it'd be a great look, and people would watch the video and download the song. It's like just transforming that to a real sustainable business.
Well, I just got to backtrack to Soundscape for a second. You know, just like Currency, Action Bronson, you guys have had many, many impressive artists come through. I think you also had Boston's own Michael Christmas come through with Tim LaRue. Can you talk about that experience a little bit?
Oh yeah, I did, man. Tim LaRue came by with Michael Christmas and Cam Meekins, and I think they had some video guys. I forget their names, but that was cool. They just came by. Cam Meekins had a show at Reggie's that day, and I met Tim just through his own coverage of the Chicago scene, and so many people were doing interviews with people like Vic Mensa or Chance or even Alex Wiley, and some of them were just really bad. And I saw Tim's, and it was amazing. It was really, really good, and he's just a cool guy. So his artist was in town. I told him that if he's ever here, the office is his spot. Come through. And then Michael Christmas came, and from the minute that kid walked in the door, he just looks like, I mean, he just looks like a rapper and a character. And I was like, I don't know who this dude is, but he looks interesting. And then he played this video for Daily, and I texted Alex Wiley, so you should come here now. Cam Meekins is here, who they knew each other by. I was like, have you heard of this kid, Michael Christmas? And he said, no. Like, you're going to watch this video and love it. And, he came by and they played the video. I think now all those dudes are friends. They made a song that I have on my computer called Step Brothers, which may come out one day. I don't know, but it's really dope.
Going outside of just, the artist perspective, can you give some advice to Boston, who, especially like through people like Tim, trying to really build things here? Can you give our humble city some advice and kind of share some of the things you've learned establishing something as impressive as Closed Sessions?
That's a good question. I think that the biggest thing that has helped us get to where we are is just kind of embracing other people that may not have proven themselves yet, but have an idea and are good people. And I think that's one thing that our scene did, and so why now you see so much happening out of Chicago and all these artists having channels and almost like at least some kind of blueprint to reach a national scene, is because 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of people were starting out and we all stuck together, and that was like the biggest thing. So now the dude that was putting up posters is in charge of booking at a venue, or the DJ that had one nightly gig now has a radio show, and I could go on and on. It's like that's what we really did, put aside a lot of the problems of people competing with each other and trying to take each other down in Chicago. Our generation learned from that and said, we're going to help each other out because no one else is. I want
to ask about Alex Wiley and Vic Mensa, obviously two, great artists that are on your label. How did you get in contact with these guys, and what about these guys from when you saw them, made you want to work with them?
Well, with Vic, we were lucky enough to be part of the Internet Tape project, and that was a cool partnership we had with Vic. And he's someone, I've known him for a really long time now. I think back to that 2008 time when everything was kind of, the internet was just forming here and all that. But he was brought into the studio by Knowledge from Kids in the Hall. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Knowledge, but I don't know how. Now I think Knowledge found him freestyling in Hyde Park or something. Vic can say that story. I don't know. But one day, after I'd leave the Ruby Hornet office, I would just go meet up with Knowledge. And one day, Vic Mensa came. And he was like 15, and I think everyone was wary. Like we were all still in our 20s, and no one really took like, oh, who's this 15-year-old guy? And he was amazing. Like he was crazy good. Everyone knew he was dope. And then he was Lil Vic at that time. Actually, his name was Lil Vic. And then with Ruby Hornet, we put out his first solo EP called Straight Up. And then he started telling us about his band Kids These Days, and we did a Haiti relief concert that Rhymefest headlined. And that was the first show of Kids These Days, and everyone was blown away by them. It was like, oh man. So I've just known Vic for a long time, and he was someone that I think when I left Ruby Hornet and went to closed sessions, he was a supporter and one of the MCs that were like, I want to be a part of that. We had a session where Thelonious would just take over the studio for a summer, so he could just invite whoever he wanted. And somehow he invited Wiley to the studio and ended up doing a record called Game Face. And from there, we pretty much just wanted to work with him right after that.
Now, also with Chance the Rapper, who is a constant collaborator with all these guys, I think you said in one of your long-form pieces that you came very close to managing him, or that Chance wanted that Chance wanted you to manage him. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I could talk about that. I knew Chance early on, where I went to DJ a show, and Chance was there, and I met Chance before the show, and this was his first concert outside of the U Media and Young Chicago Authors, like at a real, venue, getting paid. And from there, I just thought he was really dope, and he started emailing me songs and just asking for advice, and asked me to meet him at this, meet him across from where he went to high school in the Loop at Panera, and he just broke down this whole plan, and I said, man, I will help you however you think. I didn't know. He never said necessarily, will you manage me? It was just asking advice. We just had a working relationship, and then about a year later, after 10 Day was out, and had printed these Ruby Hornet shirts to go to Soundset Festival in Minneapolis. This was like May of 2012, and we were in Juggernaut in the back room, and Caleb James was there, and the Juggernaut dudes. I think Chance's dad was there, and his brother was there. And I'd never met his dad before, and he was just like, yeah, man, I asked you to manage me back then. And I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. But yeah, that's like a funny thing. It'll come up from time to time. But
wow.
Yo, it's Alex Wiley. You're listening to the College Blueprint in Boston. I'm in Boston. That's where I am. This is the best blueprint.